What's up, everybody? You're watching Hot Takes, brought to you by the USG Communications Department. I'm your host, A.T. Bianco, and with me is the career coach and marketing director at the Career Center, and hopefully good with hot sauce, the James Levin. Thank you for coming by today.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
How are you today, for one? Thank you for being with us.
I am good, thanks.
You're doing good?
Had a full day. Been going since early this morning.
All right.
But I'm ready
Busy
for
day
this.
And end it with some hot wings, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So how are you with hot foods?
You want me to be honest,
Yes,
right?
be 100% honest.
I am not a fan of hot food.
All right.
My stomach doesn't like spice, and typically I don't like spice.
Okay.
But I'm gonna suck it up
It's for a good show.
for a good cause.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Are you ready to get started then?
I am ready.
All right. So our first sauce here is the Hot One sauce, and we're gonna start here, and we're gonna do a little cheers.
All right.
We'll start and take a bite.
Happy days.
Yeah. And this one is more of it's kind of mild.
You think so?
I think so. And it's tasty.
If that's mild, when we get to here, I'm in deep trouble.
All right. Well, maybe we want to take some smaller bites, I guess.
Perhaps.
So,
Okay.
You were a photographer.
Correct.
At what age did you start to be fascinated by images and photography?
I was 6 years old.
Okay.
My dad had a Brownie. I still have that camera, by the way. I was just intrigued that this box, you click it, and then in those days, film, 5 days later, thank you.
Of course.
You got your pictures back, and it just intrigued the heck out of me that you could record this moment in time. And I'm not even sure why at that age I understood it, but I did. But I always had an interest in it, to the point that I majored in college in photography and art. I got a good education, but more in the fine arts. But I wanted to be a commercial photographer, and they're very different disciplines. Fine art, you're really going to end up teaching.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Not what I wanted to do. I wanted to make money creating
And being
content.
a photographer.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get into that after we attack this High River sauce. It's called Moruga Blood Orange Scorpion Pepper Sauce.
Of course it is.
So if that name isn't intimidating, I don't know what is. You ready to get
Let's
at
do
this one?
Yeah.
All right.
Are we clinking again?
Yeah. We'll cheers right there.
Again, happy days.
Let me take a second bite.
I can, huh? You're a nice guy.
Explain to me your thought process as you go into the real world after college. You want to be a photographer. You get into New York City. Explain that process and that journey.
So I happened to, there was a photographer whose work I knew and wanted to work for him. Interesting story, because in the 70s, you picked up the phone and called someone.
Right.
But I asked to speak to Mr. Brodsky, and he got on the phone. We had a conversation. I came in, did this outreach intern style program, established myself to a point that he offered me a job. I was just excited to be in this guy's studio and surrounded by the quality of work and the production stuff that this guy did, because it was all big brand stuff, big entertainment names. I was just surrounded by.
Now, what you said, big entertainment names. What names?
Well, his specialty, and what I was really looking for from him, was record covers.
Really?
Yeah, he was probably the top East Coast record cover guy in the business at the time.
And he shot record covers.
Yeah, so all the Doors stuff. That's Joel Brodsky. So very iconic imagery.
I mean, I look at my father's records and albums, and I've seen
them.
Go
look at them again, and you'll see photos by Joel Brodsky.
Wow.
So the Doors, Aretha Franklin, B.B. King, Iggy Pop, the Stones.
So the names in that day, he
so
shot the album covers. Now, did working for him, did you have any say in what he shot, or were you?
No.
Okay.
I started out as more like an apprentice. In those days, was an apprentice. When I came to New York to work for him full time, I was a second assistant, and eventually first assistant and studio manager. So I put in a couple of years there, worked my way up, and then freelanced for different studios after that.
we gotta attack this pain 100% first before we get into that.
Okay.
We'll cheers. We'll cheers again.
All right.
Be careful with this one. This might burn your nose hairs off.
It likes to catch up on you.
Yep, the aftertaste.
Yeah. It really does sneak up on you.
Might
Nice.
want some milk on this one.
I was thinking maybe a fire engine.
You work at the Career Center.
I do.
Talk about the transition from your former career to the career now.
If I'm allowed, if I can speak.
Yeah, you
I'll...
take your time. It's all right.
Wow, that one's nasty. I'm just going to cheat. I want to look at the title of the next one. The Bomb. Okay. Unfortunately, in 2007, I had a very good career. I had a great run, love what I did. In 2007, I was diagnosed with a retinal disease, and it required surgery, and I had career-ending eye surgery. So, 3-month recovery. The doctor said when this is all over, you may not be able to be a photographer again. And my attitude was, well, that's not going to happen.
Right.
But lo and behold, so I was not fired, laid off, or downsized, but I was unemployed. I had to shut my studio down. It was not an easy time, but in life, stuff does happen, and you've got to figure out how to move on. So I did. I found and discovered recruiting. It just snowballed, and I started to then develop a freelance or an entrepreneurial business called Job Search Therapy.
So what's the premise of the job search therapy?
Primarily for young people. I do work with mid-level, senior-level executives that are in transition for whatever reason, but the core business was college-age demographic.
Okay.
Because, as you yourself probably know, there's a challenging time from transitioning from college or classroom to career.
They like to call it adulting.
Okay,
nowadays.
I would never call it adulting.
Why is that?
Because do we need to categorize ourselves as that? I mean, why can't we just be people looking for a job?
You're right.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that term. I never heard that before.
So what's your advice to students maybe facing some adversity and kind of they're forced to change their career path? What's your advice to them for you having experience with that?
Well, sometimes that switch or that flip in curriculum could be a good thing because it gives you a hybrid. And the term transferable skill, something we use all the time, and most skills are transferable. So when you're looking for a job, you're branding and marketing yourself.
Yourself, right?
Yeah. Now, make no mistake, that's what it's about. So if you've got this hybrid educational background, how can we use that and leverage it as an advantage? And there are ways to do it. So that's all part of the branding. Look, a lot of students come to us thinking we're going to write their resume, write their cover letter, and give them a job. We don't do that.
No.
We will guide you, advocate on your
Help
behalf.
people who help themselves.
Right. We are there, but I like to think of myself as a GPS. I'm going to give you and provide you a sense of direction, but you got to drive. This is your ride, and the heavy lifting is on you. If I had a job in my back pocket, I would give it to you. I don't. You have to find that. But I'm going to enable you. I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to give you things to think about that are going to help you along the way. But the key is separate you from the rest. If you are one of the many, that's all you are, is one of the many. What you want to be is one of the few.
So for our next sauce, it is called Da Bomb. And at the bottom, if you read it, it says Beyond Insanity. So don't be scared.
Thanks.
All right? Do not be scared. We're going to have some cheers action here again. Take a little bite. Generous
Little
bite.
is the key word.
Yeah. That was definitely Da Bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Coolest memory as a photographer. What is it?
Wait a minute.
Gotcha.
That stuff should be illegal.
It probably is.
Wow. Getting the tears on camera?
Yep. Nose might start running too, so watch out.
You got me all emotional. Okay, what was your question?
Coolest memory as a photographer, industry professional. What is it?
Coolest memory.
Like you were either star-studded or...
Wow. Coolest memory.
Any memories you have shooting album covers with, I mean, the names that you
Well, again,
sounded off? Were you around the talent?
Oh yeah, I was on camera.
Okay.
I mean, but again, I was not the photographer.
All right.
So I don't want to mislead you on that. I was this guy's assistant, so I helped do the pre-lighting, no different than what you guys have done here.
Right.
And we would work for hours on some of the lighting. It's very intricate stuff. And again, this predates digital. This was all analog, so there was no computerized strobe.
No Photoshop, nothing.
No, nothing. Everything was done pure. So any special effects we did were done on set. Whether it was lighting or visual effects was all done with camera, lens, different equipment. Very archaic compared to what we can do today.
Yeah.
But it was an exciting time. So I did get to work with some extraordinary stars. But again, they weren't my record
Did
covers.
any of them keep you star-studded? Because I mean, these were some big names.
Yes and no. I mean, you look up to all these people because I was a music guy, so
Right.
I knew all these people. I was a fan of most of them, so that in itself was exciting. But some of them really were very, I don't know, disconnected and snobby and would not talk to people. They had their little entourage.
They were there
when they were
for-
called to be on set, they did their
And
thing,
they
and
left.
that was it.
What's your advice working with celebrities, with them acting like that? What's your advice?
You have to suck it up. You really can't change who they are.
Right.
You've got to work with it. And not to adapt to them would be a mistake, because all you're going to do is create more of a disconnect, and it's just going to mess up that creative process.
Right.
You cannot tell your client at the end of the day, I did not get the shot.
Before our last set of questions, we have to attack this last
I was kind of
sauce
hoping
here.
you might forget.
So this next sauce here is called Mad Dog 357, and it said that this sauce will blow you away. Cheers.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. I'm going for a baby bite on that one.
It's kind of sweet.
Yeah,
You
there's
taste it?
Yep. There's a little sweetness, but I have to believe that the worst is yet to come.
Yeah, I think it's the aftertaste.
And here it comes. Woo.
It's going down. Yeah, going down is the rough part.
This is how
Brutal.
can people really eat this? I don't get it.
What's one thing that you'd like to see more of on campus, whether it's for students or something that you've had an observation about?
Sense of commitment. When you're thinking about a career path, one of the analogies I use is you think about preparing for a test. Study for your test, you'll do well. If you prepare, you're prepared. But you got to be committed to that. You got to be all in. And I find that a lot of students with troubles, questions, challenges, issues, who come to see me will lay it out there and tell me, this is my challenge, this is my problem, this is my obstacle. And then I'll get several reasons why they cannot move forward. And I will always say to them, I'm not interested in the 2, 3, 5 reasons why you can. I'm interested in the one reason why you can. But in order to do that, you've got to be 100% committed to yourself, your career, and what your life is going to be like. Students that are in the I don't know category, and there are plenty of them, they're really not sure what their career path is going to be. Those are the most difficult ones to coach. But I find ways to at least open their mind to exploring different things. But again, if you're not driven by the commitment, it's not going to happen.
And the ambition in general.
Well, you need desire, passion, ambition. I mean, all of that's certainly part of it, but what drives that is commitment. You're investing in yourself. I mean, it's one thing to invest in an education, that's great. But at some point in time, you're going to hit that threshold, you're going to graduate, and you have to get a job.
Right.
I was very lucky twice in 2 careers. I loved my first career, I love my second career. So most of the workforce out there, 60 some odd percent, is dissatisfied with what they do. That's a terrible number.
It's hard to wake up every day.
Well, I would think
Doing
so.
that, right.
I've never experienced that, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But I know plenty of people who are miserable. Maybe they're making a lot of money, and that's the sort of the balance for them.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
there's always a catch.
I would tell all my students, try and do something that's going to scratch your itch. What do you like to do?
Yeah.
Do it. A lot of the business students that I work with, they think they have to be a business person. You don't. Every business needs a business function to it. The structure of it is based on business. Mm-hmm. So if you like sports, entertainment, media, then get a job in sports, entertainment, media doing the business. But try and find something you like. But again, back to your question, the commitment part. I find that is few and far between from here within the students. They talk a good game. Some of them mean it. There's exceptions to every rule, of course.
Right.
But I think to generally have that drive from here, you got to be all in. And I don't think a lot of the students are. Many are. Again, I'm not categorizing them all.
But you would like to see an improvement in the attitude.
Yeah. So one of the taglines I have in some of the lectures I do, I talk about the time we're young. There are things we're going to be told to do, and you have to do them. Our parents, coaches, older siblings, teachers, you get a job, a boss tells you what to do, you got to do it. But there are two things that you can control, and that's your attitude and your effort. Mm-hmm. And you have total control of that. Not to be in charge of that is a mistake.
Thank you for the advice. Thank you for being with us today. This
Thank
is
you.
A great...
And thanks for the pain.
Oh, of course. Pain 100%, I guess, right? So, guys, thanks for watching. James Levin signing out. AT Bianco, your host. Thank you for watching. All right. Thanks for doing that. Appreciate it. Hopefully it's not too bad.
This stuff sucks.
Yeah, oh my God, it is.
Wow.
Hey, what's up, Seawolves? Thanks for watching that last episode. If you want to see more episodes, check us out on our YouTube channel at SBU USG. Thanks for watching.